Probably the Amish one that sells the pretzels.
The pretzels. Ooh, that's the one I wanted to go to the last time I was there. I want to get a sausage, egg, and cheese pretzel. Oh, yeah. Sounds good. All right. So, 420. U.S. conflicts. Detail the Battle of the Atlantic. How is this battle so impactful? Just another day, right? Just another day.
Why are we here right now?
Oh, what do you mean? A holiday? No way. Okay. Valley Atlantic. All right. So why was it so impactful? Maybe I'll show you a video of the Greyhound here. What do you think? Trailer of the Greyhound. Tom Hanks. Out in the open water. Would you? All right. I'll play it. I'll play it. Oh.
Might as well play the whole movie while we're at it.
The whole movie. I do have it on Apple TV. The only thing, for some reason, they're picking up on whenever I project. Hulu, I think Apple TV, Disney Plus doesn't work when you try to project. Here's what it is. I don't know what I'll do. Serene, how late were you up last night?
Pretty late.
You look a little tired.
I'm really tired.
3 a.m. over under.
Over. I had a project due for a minute.
What was the project on?
Cover letter for the senior project.
Oh,
So not dreaming last night.
cover letter. So is this for a job you want, right?
What?
Is this like a job you're trying to?
Yeah, it's like a fake like resume for a job.
Yeah.
I'm like a cover letter for it. So like 28 slots.
What are you trying to pursue?
Yeah. Well, I made up something. So.
Oh, so you're not. What do you like, a welder? Or?
Now I'm marketing CEO for Stark Industries.
Stark Industries. All right. You think Tony will hire you?
He already did.
Oh, he did.
Now I'm trying to get into Wayne Enterprises.
Wayne Enterprises now. Oh, nice. I like that. Maybe Bruce Wayne will hire you.
I'm hoping.
Or Lucius Fox, right? I guess he's the one in charge of that. But if you had enough pull with Bruce, I'm sure that will work. Yeah. Are you going to work in the advanced science division?
I'm trying to go for business administration.
Okay. Gotta look out for that. Coleman Reese.
Yeah.
He's giving out his secrets, telling everybody about who he is.
As long as I get paid.
Yeah. All right, so detail about Atlantic. What do we have here? Jeffrey, go ahead.
Battle of the Atlantic was the struggle that soldiers and other United States troops would take to get even over to Europe to battle in the first place. Without the Atlantic, there would be no actual war in Europe, and most likely Germany would have taken over all of Europe, including Britain.
Oh, man. All right, so Battle Atlantic, very crucial, especially when the United States trying to supply, obviously, the forces over in Europe, okay, and trying to help Great Britain, Soviet Union out with Germany and Europe. So very crucial. What were some of the dangers of this Atlantic convoy, of this trip across the Atlantic the United States and Canadian forces had to endure and had to face off with? Griffin, go ahead.
U-boats.
U-boats, yeah, German U-boats. Yeah, German U-boats. You got to look out for them, submarines, especially out in the middle there where there's no coverage of the RAF or the United States, on the western side of the Atlantic. And it was really daring, very high risk. And like I said before, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to retreat to. If you get shot down, there's nowhere to go. You're out in the middle of the open water. So whenever someone talks about some of the dangerous parts of World War I and World War II, really the danger traveling across the Atlantic was up there, especially with the battles obviously started in 1939, ending when the war ends, okay? And along this battle of the war, of both wars really. And this was how the U.S. could help support the Allied powers. Okay, troops, supplies, armaments, you name it. And the United States home front, one of the biggest key factors Key points of how we won this war, how the Allied powers were victorious. All right, good, good. Is there any questions on the Battle of Atlantic? So again, avoiding these U-boats, trying to travel across the Atlantic, this convoy system, different maneuvers to try to avoid these U-boats from targeting these ships, supply ships, okay, helping the Allied powers, aiding them in Europe. All right, so today we'll talk about Operation Torch, invasion of North Africa, the United States finally getting in the battle in Europe, okay, and how we decide, why we decide to attack North Africa. All right, so we'll watch, how about we watch the video at the end of the lesson, just because I'm recording now, and I don't want to stop the recording and replay another video, so I'll just attach it to the announcement. I'll play it afterwards. All right, terms for today. Here we go. Oh, man, quite a bit. That'll be all right. So the North African campaign, Operation Torch, Eisenhower, Patton, Rommel, Montgomery. There we go. There we go. I'll let you guys work on that. I'm going to give you like 5 minutes. We'll discuss it. We'll go over it. Working day, Kiara? No, you're off. Nice. Nice. Bless you. All right, so what do we have? North African campaign. What do we got? Troy, what do you have, buddy?
It was campaigns fought in the Liberian and Egyptian deserts, Morocco, Algeria, as well as Tanzania.
All right, good job. Good job. So the United States, Great Britain, they're going to attack the Axis powers here in North Africa against Vichy France. So France was a part of and worked hand in hand with Germany at the time. And these players here, these generals, will all partake in this North African campaign. Patton, United States, Erwin Rommel, right, of Great Britain, or sorry, of Germany, and Bernard Montgomery of Great Britain, all duking it out in North Africa, okay, with this North African campaign. And it was up for the Allied powers to try to push the Axis powers out of these areas for many reasons. One for resources, another reason to get a little bit closer to the soft underbelly of Europe and establish a two-front war for Germany by 1942, moving into 1943. All right, Operation Torch, what do we have? Kiara, what do you have for Operation Torch? A little help and aid from Germany, obviously, and Italy. Okay, and Great Britain, United States, they're going to enter 3 different points, which I'll talk about today, in North Africa to try to push the Axis powers out of this area, out of this territory. Okay, and who came up with this operation? Who's leading the way? Do you know? His name's up there. Kiara? Oh, all right. Sorry. Serene, go ahead.
Montgomery, right?
Yeah, Montgomery and Eisenhower. Yep, Eisenhower coming up with a plan, this invasion. Montgomery leading the way on the ground, and same with Patton. So Eisenhower coming up with this idea of Supreme Allied Commander, okay, of these different attacks in North Africa. Okay, and this would be the largest assault up to date, right, up until 1942. Invasion. That would be partake. That would be completed. Great Britain would send a large mass, obviously, in the United States as well. First entering the war in Europe. I guess you'd say North Africa, but in the European theater. All right, Dwight Eisenhower, what do you have here? Griffin?
He was an American military officer and statesman who served as the 34th President of the United States from 1953 to 19.
Yeah, good job. So Dwight Eisenhower he'll be president after World War II, and he'll be a part of the Cold War here. But he came up with the D-Day invasion, which we'll get to and talk about. Operation Torch, the invasion of North Africa, and he actually resided in Gettysburg after his time as president, after the war, and he donated a lot of money to Gettysburg. So if you guys ever go there, check it out. Museum at Gettysburg. There's a little bit of a tribute to him, a memorial, and it's pretty cool. He donated a lot of his money, a lot of his time to Gettysburg, and I advise you to check it out if you ever get down there. All right, George Patton, what do we have? Jeffrey?
General in the United States Army who commanded the 17th United States Army in the Mediterranean theater of the World War II.
All right, good job. Old Blood and Guts, right? That's his nickname. Yeah. So George Patton leading the tank division in North Africa, along with Montgomery, against Rommel here, and trying to push the Axis powers, the Axis control out of North Africa. Eventually, we'll talk about it. Battle of the Bulge, he'll be famous for as well. Okay. And very disciplined general. Good. Erwin Rommel, what do we have here? Autumn? You didn't get that far yet? Kira, do you get this far? Erwin Rommel?
German general and military. Desert Fox.
Desert Fox, yeah, so he gets the name. He's very clever, obviously, a very smart general for the German army. North Africa, that's who Montgomery and Patton would be going against in North Africa. Later, he'll help with the defenses at D-Day invasion, right, trying to prepare for this Allied invasion. Okay, try to fight them off at the Atlantic Wall, right, the Western Front in the European theater. All right, Montgomery, what do we have here? Montgomery, 40?
The senior British Army officer who served in the First World War.
All right, yeah, and then he'll lead this tank invasion, Great Britain in North Africa, and very successful against Rommel and pushing back the German forces. Vichy France, liberating North Africa, and setting up this invasion soon enough into Sicily, the small island right off the coast of Italy. Okay, so we'll talk about that probably tomorrow. All right, is there any questions on those terms there? You guys good? All right, real quick, let me go over this. I'll play a video for you. All right, so turn the tide in Europe. So like I mentioned before, Stalingrad obviously finishing up in 1943. But now the United States and Great Britain, and they need to pick up the slack here on the Western Front. They need to help the Soviet Union out somewhat. Okay, and we'll talk about this invasion a little bit more in detail today. But this was how the United States and Great Britain are going to create this two-front war for Germany. And Roosevelt, actually, this was one of the two main decisions he had when it came to military, I guess say tasks and strategies. in Europe. Okay, it was advised that maybe he'd focus more on Japan out in the Pacific, especially after Pearl Harbor, right? Many of his advisors tried to push him to finish the war in the Pacific first. Okay, and he thought, nope, you know what? We decided with Stalin, we decided with the Allied powers that Germany first. Okay, this Germany first mentality. You take care of Germany and Europe first before we move to Japan. They viewed Germany as a bigger threat. Okay, but again, he was advised to maybe try to fight this war in the Pacific first, try to push back Japan, and then maybe help out against Germany. Okay, but he went against some of the orders and decided, no, we're going to try to attack and set up this two-front war to help out the Soviet Union in Europe. So I guess you could say there's one, difference that he had with some of his military advisors. Another one is that some of his advisors, well, if we're going to attack in Europe first, maybe we should start this D-Day invasion right off the bat. Okay, let's attack northern France and establish this two-front war right in continental Europe. Right? And he said no. Why do you think he refused to do that? Why do you think he attacked North Africa first before Europe and northern France? What do you think? Troy, go ahead.
Get the soldiers used to the fighting.
Yeah, good job, good job. So the United States, when have they been in war since then? World War I, right? And it was only for a year, right? About a year anyway. 1917 and 1918. It was mostly trench warfare. So do you think strategies, do you think technology has obviously became far more advanced since World War II? And try to prepare these soldiers for the fighting, for the new style of warfare in Europe. Okay, he thought, well, let's attack North Africa first. Let's get our feet wet before we actually dive into this war and go against the strongest military in the world, right, against Germany. So he decided, no, we're going to attack North Africa first. This is how we're going to create this two-front war for Germany. It'd be foolish to go head first right into North Africa right away without any preparation, without any type of, I guess, say, knowledge or experience with the war at all. Okay, especially with these new advancements in technology and strategies. FDR thought this was a good, I guess, say, stepping stone for the United States in Europe. So with North Africa, all right, Eisenhower coming up with his plan, Operation Torch. And this would lead the Allied powers, Great Britain, to attack North Africa and try to push Germany, Vichy France, right? Okay, Vichy France, which is part of France that was helping and aiding the Axis powers. And their goal was to try to invade and push, obviously, Axis forces out and set up an invasion point into Southern Europe, into Italy. Right? So Eisenhower decides to attack Casablanca, Algiers, and Tunis. Right? They're going to aim for those three major cities when for this invasion. And it was very successful. Great Britain, actually, Churchill, when he initiated a lot of this invasion as well and pushed for this invasion, many of the citizens in Great Britain were furious. They're angry with Churchill and the leadership in Great Britain. Why do you think? Why do you think they received a lot of backlash from the citizens of Great Britain when he was sending forces and troops, okay, down to North Africa? Griffin, what do you think?
There's less people that fight off what was going on in the actual country of Great Britain.
Yeah, what was going on in Great Britain since, I guess, say 1940?
Bombing runs.
Yeah.
They were trying to invade Great Britain.
Good. Yeah, the Blitz, right? The constant bombing runs. Many of the citizens thought, you know what, we need to try to protect our home island before sending any type of troops and soldiers down into North Africa. Right? It'd be foolish if we just left our guard down. Okay? And many citizens were upset with Churchill and his decision to try to invade North Africa. But altogether, this was a successful invasion. Right? And the United States, Great Britain, under Patton and Montgomery, pushed the Axis forces out of North Africa. And again, this was leading up to this stage and this invasion into Italy, into the soft underbelly, creating this two-front war for Germany eventually, which we'll talk about tomorrow. But a lot of the opposition was actually from Vichy France, and many of the Allied powers and generals thought, you know what, maybe if we set this invasion, that many of the people in North Africa since it was a territory of France, really, that they would just kind of give up. They wouldn't start fighting as much, and they would maybe just join sides with the Allied powers. And for the most part, that's kind of what happened. There's a lot of division on what these French citizens, civilians, okay, should do. And the French resistance groups, which we'll talk a little bit more about when we get to the D-Day invasion, they actually helped and aided the Allied powers with this successful invasion. Okay, so North Africa, Operation Torch, a good success, a big success for the Allied powers, with Eisenhower's advancement here with Casablanca, Algiers, and Tunis. Very successful. Here's a picture. Now there's Stalingrad to the left and right. There's Patton in North Africa. Right? And successful tank command and moving forces of the United States. Also Great Britain, Montgomery, pushing the Axis powers out of North Africa. And again, this is going to set up this invasion of Italy, okay, of Sicily, moving up into continental Europe and establishing that two-front war against Germany. All right, is there any questions on Operation Torch? So again, the United States, okay, their first combat, their first form of combat in Europe was actually in North Africa, and the European theater was in North Africa. Okay, and FDR was one of the biggest players of that. He decided, you know what, we need to try to get our soldiers' feet wet first. Can't just jump in headstrong against the strong German army on the Western Front, obviously, in northern France. All right, there you go. So North Africa, obviously, that'll help out with loss of resources of the Axis powers and their control in the Mediterranean Sea. And then this is going to try to alleviate some of the air control that Germany had at the Luftwaffe.